Hi, hey Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. I don't mean to scare you. Yes, I'm standing in front of my bandsaw, but we're not going to do anything about the bandsaw. I'm sure you've had enough of bandsaw stuff for a while. Now, we're actually going to talk about another thing that goes on in a workshop that most of us, and I don't know why we don't address the issue. I've not seen anything in YouTube out there about it, really, very, very little. And that's about water in the workshop. And I'm not talking about drinking water. I have a refrigerator. I can put bottled water in there, which I do, along with other refreshments. I'm talking about water for cleanup, mixing water with things and things like that. And also be able to dispose of the water after you wash something, like gray water type of thing. Nothing with high chemicals. So I decided, why is it, I guess you would call it a dry sink. So I'm going to call this my OTB Dry Sink. And there's some criteria that I'm having that I'm going to want in my OTB Dry Sink that you haven't seen before in any videos. The only video I can actually find about running water in a workshop, and I'm not talking about running water from pressure water and the sewer pipe and all and putting the regular sink in. I'm talking about making something to improvise because you don't have that running water or sewer in your shop. So this alternative is going to be what I think is going to be a good solution to that. And you can make it as complex or as simple as you want. Dan Pattison. This is his name here, Pattison. He has a channel by that name. And I'll leave a link to the particular video that he did recently about running water in the shop. And basically, he used a 5-gallon container with a spigot on it and a plastic tub, a small plastic tub, and that's his whole system. Very simple. I'm sure it works really great. I think it was a great idea. But I've been thinking about this, too, for a long time. But you know me, got to think outside the box. So what we're actually going to do here is a few years ago, about 8 years ago, so you can see how long I've been thinking about this, I actually bought this tub with an idea of doing something like a dry sink. I paid $8 for it back then, and it's been sitting around here waiting for me to do something with it. Well, now we're going to do it. I also bought some of the other things I'm going to use on this project. Water storage and bringing water in. I've got access to a whole bunch of these containers right here. And they're just simple containers that you can see through with a screw-on lid. And I think I'm going to take one of these and revamp it, make a reservoir this to set into so the water from here will fill up a reservoir that will always have water in it. And as this gets empty, I can take it off, switch out the lid to one that has water in it, drop it back on there, and continue on. So I'll always be able to see how much, I always see water available for gravity-fed water. And that should work pretty simple with a few of these. So I'm going to incorporate these into my project. The other thing I want is, this is going to be my actual sink. This thing's too big to fill up with water, but it's great for catching all the mess. So I'm going to build a table that this will set into, and this will give me a quick little bowl, and then when I'm done with the water, I can just take and dump it, rinse it out if I need to or whatever. So this is going to be incorporated into this. The other thing I'm going to incorporate is on my table, instead of the bowl, I want to have the option to put this tabletop in here so that I can put small parts on here and clean them if I want. And this is just an old cutting board made out of plastic. And as you can see, it's kind of warped now, where I accidentally had it in the toaster oven for a few minutes one time and didn't realize it, and it warped it. But this crown is going to be perfect to have as a tabletop, because all the water then will run off rather than pooling on here. So I think this is going to work real well. We're going to find out. So I'm going to incorporate that into my little table here too. The last thing I'm going to do is, one thing I like about my kitchen sink, and that is that I can use the water coming out of the faucet to do what I'm doing, or I can grab the little sprayer and spray and get high power spray. Well, I want that feature in my water system too. So how am I going to get that? I'm going to get that from here.
This is just an inexpensive, I paid $1 for it, again, at some garage sale. And you just pump it, and I've checked it out. You can get a gallon and a half of water in here easily. And then it has to be upright because the straw goes to the bottom. So that won't be any problem. I'll build a basket for this so it can hook anywhere on my tub, inside or outside from that basket. And it just sit there. And then when I need to pump it up to charge it, you just turn it, and then it just pumps really easy. And after 4 or 5 pumps, I already have pressure coming out of it. So I don't think it's going to take much to have pressure. Now, I'm probably going to have to revamp this a little bit, probably shorten this down. I think this is not what I'm going to need. I'm going to need just a short thing and some kind of holster for it. But having spray water capability and be able to lift this and actually use this in the shop if I really want to for something, this is actually going to be kind of a cool idea. So we're going to incorporate water spray into our dry sink as well as gravity-fed water. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. The other thing I should tell you is it does have a shelf at the bottom, a crisscross of metal, and this thing is quite heavy, so tipping over isn't a real problem at this point. But as I add the tabletop and the bottom shelf on this to put things down there, I'm going to do all of that using cedar. And what I think I'll probably do is buy some 2x6 or some decking. I'm not sure which yet. Deck boards are made of cedar, and I'll probably need 2 of them. And I'll rip them down into 1.5 or 1.125, whatever the thickness of those boards are, slats, 1/2 inch thick. And then I'm going to use a slat system from my tabletop, from my lower table, and my lower shelf. Everything will be done with the cedar and be doing slats to give it a nice look, but also being around wet all the time, the cedar should hold up a lot better than anything else will. So anyway, so everything's going to be made out of cedar, and that'll bring up some challenges in itself because wood movement on that should probably be huge. So we don't want any tight-fitting things going on with the wood, because if it gets wet, as it swells up, then you could have problems. So we're going to have to be thinking as we go along here how we do all that. But that's kind of the basic idea. The other thing I was thinking about is not everybody has heat in their shop, quite honestly. Let's face it, I have a luxury of having an overhead furnace running on natural gas. I have a gas line running out from the house out here, so heat out here is no problem at all. But a lot of shops don't have that, so in the winter months, water can be a problem. Well, I'm also going to show you how you can take, and when you make this, you can also make it so that in the winter months, you can actually keep it warm and not have it freeze when you're not using it. And when you need it, you can just use it. And it'll all run off a heater by a 1 incandescent 100-watt bulb type of thing. I'll show you what I'm talking about as we go along. So I'm going to I don't think I'm going to incorporate that into my system, but I'm going to talk about it and show you how you can actually incorporate it into your system so that you'll have that heat box to keep the water from freezing. So if you do have a non-heated garage that you're using for your workshop. So this is the project. There's a lot to do here. This is going to take a while. I'm sure I'm going to have other videos also before I'm done. But this is the basic criteria of what I want to build. I kind of want to repurpose some things here, make some things out of things that they were never designed for to begin with. You know me, I love to think outside the box, and this is going to have a lot of that OTB thinking done on this. So come on along with me. If you have any suggestions or ideas that I should incorporate into this, or how I can do a particular something or another, believe me, I'm open to all suggestions, because this is going to be quite complicated. I have no idea what it's really going to look like or how it's going to work when I'm done. I'm very confident it will work and that I'll really like it, but we'll have to see. Hopefully we'll make something that looks nice when we're done too, rather than just something that looks like it's been put together by some Kentucky hillbilly. Sorry. Nothing personal, Kentucky. I am from Kentucky, so. Anyway, I just want to thank you for stopping by. Like I said, leave comments and questions in the comments. This series is going to be called the OTB Dry Sink.
So when I get it past certain points, I'll show you where I'm at with it, or if I stumble upon something I can't figure out what I want to do, I may talk and show it to you guys, so maybe you can come up with a suggestion of how I can make it work. So, but this is the basis, and these are the pieces that I want to kind of incorporate into what we're doing. So, come along with me. Hopefully you leave lots of comments. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Most importantly, though, please come back again, because as you can see, we're nowhere near done. Thanks. We'll see you again very soon.